Hey everyone, and welcome back to At the Table. Thank you so much for coming in. We're going to knock out the creation today, and we are joined by a very awesome guest, Sidney Rubino. You may know her from Edge of Legend, our show on Wednesday nights. So really fast, we're going to do a quick introduction, starting with our special guest, Sidney. Please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, hello there. My name is Sidney Rubino. You can find me on the internet everywhere at Sidney Rubino. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, on TikTok, I go by Sidney of Hightower, and every Tuesday I post a video on my YouTube of me reading folklore and fairy tales. So if you are interested in listening to fairy tales or folklore you wouldn't otherwise be able to read or have access to, come listen to me and I'll read them to you, and we'll also discuss moral implications of stories.
Wonderful. Next up on the list, Mr. Michael Powell. Please tell them who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, as always, I am Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social media, which is Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao. And what about you, PJ?
My name is PJ McGaw. I'm all over the internet at pj.mcgaw, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Come find me. Come stalk me. Let's have fun together. When I'm out here Wednesdays or Tuesdays, you can find me here Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, that being said, with these lovely people around me, we are going to create something really fun, really special. Maybe the name of Valentine's Day. We'll see. Check it out. Now, we're going to rock and roll right into the item creation. As always, we generally have no idea what we're going to make until we make it. So, you guys out there in the chat, as well as Sidney here, special guest, what are we going to make?
Well, Reap Psyche actually just posted something. I'm going to read it out. One thing I think is important to talk about, I missed last week, so I don't know if that was talked about yet, is how insidious consent-wise magic is. Love potions, charm spells, illusion magic, and such. It gets such a bad precedent as insidious as it is, all essentially different forms of assault.
Yes, we did mention that a little bit last time about how, like, and this is kind of one of the weird things about D&D, how much it lives in a shade of gray, because that most of that stuff is like bard stuff. Now, granted, bards don't force it onto players, and anything that would take agency away from a player is not okay, which is why, all the stuff we talked about last week and today matters so much. So, yeah, the creation, I don't want to hear any love spells, love potions, because that's gross.
Well, I was thinking, what if we create a consensual love potion?
I feel like that's just called love.
Yeah, but we could call it a confirmation love potion.
How about this? There's a ritual in a few of the games called wedding ceremony, or ceremony, one of them is a wedding thing. Why don't we do kind of like a mood ring of sorts, where once you wear it, it shows, if you allow, how you feel about someone. So it can say things like, I love you, I'm taken, I'm angry, I'm hungry, something like that. Just shoot that out
I'm
there.
hungry can really help sometimes. I'm just saying. Past experiences. I'm hungry helps.
So we are building an item, we're not building a person.
Unless you want to build a person.
Yeah, you can build a person
So
if you
here
want.
were my thoughts.
Yes.
Here were my thoughts. I saw a tweet yesterday where someone was like, why don't people have more gods of love in their pantheons? They're like in their homebrew pantheons, and I'm like, well, we do in Edge of Legend. We have a love god that we have just not come across yet in game. So my thought was going to be to build a cleric of a love god and what that would look like in our game.
Okay. I love that. I will put this out there. I have planted at the Platinum Hammer a paladin of the god of love. His name, he's one set of twins. He and his brother. His brother's named Mace. His brother's a paladin of the god of war, Koga, and his name is Gaius. Because screw it, I don't care anymore. I'll bleed. And he is the paladin of the god of love. And they work together to train warriors to fight. One, of course, with military infrastructure, and one with love in their heart. But that's a paladin, not a cleric. Different thing. We could absolutely build a Cleric of Adoraia or Adoraria, the
really
pronunciation
quick.
of which we haven't approved on or figured out yet.
Really quick, I'm going to read something in chat. Grebo Lightbrush posted, a confirmation potion is just a glass of wine, watching a movie together, and holding hands. So Netflix and chill.
Sometimes there ain't no love in Netflix and chill. Let's not confuse the two. See, Reap Psyche says, look, I know people who take stuff together because it enhances things. Yeah, just kind of end that right there. Yeah, so I'm super down for it because we have a paladin of the god of love, but we haven't met a cleric of the god of love, and I would love to do that now.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, if we want to. I mean, I'm also, as much as items and potions and things like that are super cool, I'm way more interested in characters, personally as a person, because characters is where all like the meaty stuff comes from. Potions and items and things like that help narrate the plot, but when you actually have like a character in there, and it's just way better. Also, I was under the impression it was Adoraia.
I think it was Adoraia, but it's one of those things that depending on how you look at it, it could be said one of two ways, you know, because the way his name is spelled is Adarya. Yeah. So it could be Adoraia, which I think is how we officially named it. But you could also kind of look at it sideways and go, Otaria.
Really quick, I also want to point out to chat that this is also a really cool moment. If you have any questions about the deities in Edge of Legend, both PJ and Sidney worked on them together. So it's good to have them both here. So if you have any questions, and also if you're also wondering sometimes like, me? What are all these names they're talking about?
Yes. So Adoraia is if we're allowed to talk about them, PJ.
Yeah.
For like just a little taste. It doesn't have to be a lot. So Adoraia is the god of love. They're neutral good. They represent all-encompassing love. Love, sex, communication, nurturing, gentleness, forgiveness, intimacy, respect. Like they resemble all of the beautiful, wholesome qualities of love. And that's why I love them so much. But we haven't come across them in game yet. Because we've encountered everybody else. We've encountered
Hence,
so
I
many.
was wondering, wait, did I miss something? I'm pretty sure I've been all our games thus far.
I will say this, shameless plug, because Michael has taken a monopoly on a shameless plug, so I'm taking one. This Saturday, February 20th, from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., we're having Ra's Rave Party. And there's going to be a lot of, like, real-world gods, you know, real-world mythology. And there's going to be a lot of gods from our homebrew pantheon. Adoraia is certainly at the party, as is Koga, as is Azamat, as is Leofer, and of course, we know Sidney's playing Rochelle, the goddess of the working woman, and of course, you know, the screaming, the audacity of that bitch. Audacity! So if you want to see what happens when a bunch of gods get together and have a house party, you know, get drunk, get rowdy, and they're still gods, but it's in, like, you know, the Hollywood Hills, come check us out. It's this Saturday. My God, that snuck up on us. 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And also, normally it's not for charity, but in light of all the stuff going on, we're opening up as a fundraiser to help our good friend David, who suffered some really tragic losses. We'll have more details about that on social media.
Also, I also want to point out, I didn't intend to, but my character has become so anime. So very, very anime. Like G Gundam, Big O, Ronin Troopers. He's gonna be the weeb of Edge of Legends.
I mean, if you're okay with that, my dude, I'm okay with you playing that. Let's see. Grebo Lightbrush said, I need to make a dice bag with love as a theme now. Yes, because who doesn't love their dice? Anyway, so let's get down to business, because I don't have the rights to sing more than 6 seconds of that.
I think it's 15 seconds, but yeah.
I will be safe and say 6. So at Sidney's really intelligent request, we are going to create a Cleric of Otaria. Now, in order to do this, we kind of have to understand who Otaria is. Otaria is the lion head god of love. when the astral sea and the astral kingdoms were formed, there was only a few gods that were present and conscious at the beginning. The two first gods that were conscious was Azamat and his sister Tarzamat. They eventually found Magadan and Ravan, the brothers, waking up slowly. Eventually they found the others, like Adoraia. There was a whole huge godly civil war, more details in the world, but know that Otaria has always been the right-hand man of Azamat. When Azamat lost his sister, Adoraia helped him cry. When the battles were waging in war and in the heavens for the seven glories, Adoraia was the one that not only fought, but helped people to handle and process their emotions. Adoraia lost their valet to the dark side, someone who was supposed to be another avatar of love who fell and just became this kind of toxic idea of love, lust that wants more and more, that kind of sinister side to how we heal ourselves with other people's relationships. And Adoraia, it hurts that he lost someone so precious to something so deep that he couldn't fix. Adoraia is a warrior. He is a lion and a protector and a fighter, but he's also very vulnerable with his emotions. He's very out about how he feels. And he will never feel any shame in expressing those feelings. That's Adoraia. Big old squishy huggy bear. So now we need a cleric that kind of embodies the tenets of Adoraia, about love, confidence, courage, and vulnerability.
Can I ask a question about this god?
Sure.
Quick. What's their holy symbol?
Their holy symbol is actually a red heart, and on the inside, in kind of a negative space, is a lion head. And the red heart is kind of their mane.
Okay.
It's cute. Immediately, the image that came to my head is a large man with ruddy hair, and he just, when you said squishy, I was like, big squishy sweet daddy cleric.
I just thought of something. It would be kind of cool if they had like a shield. I don't know if anybody else remembers this. It's an old cartoon series called Visionaries.
I don't think so.
The toy gimmick was they had these hologram things on their chest that project their animal spirits out.
Oh, cool.
And it would be kind of cool if they had like a shield that could project like the lion head thing out from it.
Interesting. So this is a battle cleric?
That's actually a very good question. I wanted to ask, did we want this? Because right now in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, there are two variations of the cleric, the cloistered cleric and the war priest. Mm-hmm. And this kind of inherently or intrinsically, if you will, creates a specific type of build. Mm-hmm. The cloistered cleric is going to focus way more on casting. The war priest, while still capable to cast, is going to have more benefits to fighting in combat. So do we want this large man with ruddy hair to be a warrior, or do we want them to be more of a caster, a bookish type?
I kind of like the idea of him being a war priest, because if Adoraia truly is, he's squishy feelings cute man, but he also, a part of that is the courage to love, because it does take courage to love. I love the idea of someone ruling with their heart and their shield. I think that is absolutely a beautiful concept, and I think we should run with that.
I'm a fan of that. I think this character and Morel are going to get along like a house on fire.
Yeah!
And also, Grebo, Lightbrush, they also love Visionaries. I'm not making that, nice. I did not make that series up. And we just both dated ourselves a lot.
I did want to point out, the Malice 1974 asked if there's a single location where one might find details about the deities of EOL, and Sidious Ritz also seconded that. That is something that we don't have anything public yet. All of the lore that we are talking about now, of course, is something that PJ and I compiled ourselves, and a lot of it is being leaked through the game. Basically, we're like putting little tidbits out there, and then you're getting tidbits in here as well. Eventually, yes, we will release, I'm sure, a comprehensive guide to the deities and the lore of the world that Edge of Legend takes place in. But for now, we're letting it organically show through the game, so you keep getting surprised and you keep getting little peeks into the expansive universe that is Edge of Legend.
Yeah, absolutely. I've already mentally made the promise that when the time comes, years down the road, I will write and officially publish the Astrogenicon, which is the grand holy book of all of these characters, this mythology and everything else. Like, you can figure out what the tenets of Koga are. You can find out what the tenets of Adoraia are. You know, you can get, well, because there's also, like, basically the Apocrypha, but we're not going to reach that. We'll get there when we get to the Island of the Platinum Hammer.
What's that?
The Apocrypha? So I'm trying to, there's a different word for in-game, but if you know your holy books and your theology, the Apocrypha was basically chapters of the Bible that the Council of Nicaea and the Council of Trent, or the Meeting of Trent, decided they did not want to keep in the greater collection of biblical gospels. And instead they compiled them to a secondary book called the Apocrypha. And it exists. It's not really circulated. It's not evil or forbidden. It's just kind of there.
It's kind of like the Old and the New Testament a little bit.
Yeah. Apocrypha, not apocrypha. Thank you.
And also in chat, Sidious Ritz posted #headlore equals love it.
Yes.
So the Apocrypha is pretty much like the rejects that got scrapped on the editor's table. Is basically what that is.
Basically, it's all as it is. It is all gospel and letters and religious texts that, yeah, they felt wasn't great to the greater message of what they were trying to say. And in this world, the book is basically like the information that they didn't think was vital. Like, for example, there is trial notes about the trial of certain gods and devil lords, and different treaties that were created between the gods and the devils. But that's the thing that will happen in game.
Now I'm interested because you said a trial, and Rufa's essentially a lawyer. I really want Rufa to, at some point in the game, to have a Phoenix Wright moment, you know, in an actual trial. Objection!
Well, I will just say this. I have plans, but we'll get to that later. Right now, we need to figure out the Cleric of Adoraia, the War Priest. So far, the only note I have about them is that they are a large man with ruddy hair.
And magic shield, maybe?
Yeah. What kind of weapon do you envision them using? Do you want them to also kind of be like shield and wield, or do you want them to be like shield and sword?
It would be cool to have a shield and wield, but the weapon itself isn't as important. I think the main thing, at least I feel would be kind of cool, is their main thing is the shield. It's like they're like a protection cleric, or maybe kind of like a Captain America-ish when it comes to weapons, item, you know.
So he's gonna get along with Morel intrinsically, because Morel doesn't use a sword either.
Same. Is there a thing, and you can like? Well, I mean, listen, we can make anything we want. We base our game off of Pathfinder rules, of course. But like, if there's something fun that we think is cool, then I would love to build it. Is there a way where because he's a battle cleric, and he has a shield, would there be a way because I want to sort of combine Michael's idea with like the shield having a projection. Is it possible that his weapon could be like a physical manifestation of a lion?
Yes, many different ways. I think there's actually.
Sorry.
Yes, thank you. There is a part in the book that actually has a lion head shield, and it's basically a giant shield with a lion's head, and the lion's head will actually bite and roar. But if you want it to be like a light shield, it could absolutely be a magical item that functions like that.
I mean, the other cartoon that I could also refer to would be King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you first mentioned the hologram. Oh my god, I remember that cartoon.
I love that intro.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds really cool.
Basically, really quick rundown. A football team gets transported into the past and takes the place of King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, and they're kind of like Power Rangers as well.
Yeah, and each football player is a different member of the round table, and King Arthur, I think, is like the team captain.
Yeah, they're reincarnated versions of their ancestors.
Yeah, and they have like different symbols on their chest that represents their character, and then they'll do things like they're basically Care Bears on steroids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when they do their Care Bear stare, like something happens. Like one of them has like a ram head on his chest, and he'll be like the strength of Gawain, and suddenly this ram comes out of his chest and just barrels over whatever's
One
in
of
their
my
way.
favorite is a guy that literally has a brick wall on his chest, and a brick wall just pops out.
Yes, yes, the guy who makes brick walls too. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I remember that.
Grebo Lightbrush posted in D&D there's a thing called Ring of the Ram that can be altered.
Yeah, absolutely.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
here's the big-
I like the idea of like the shield being the weapon, not necessarily that the shield is like.
The main
'Cause I feel
course.
like, yeah, I feel like Morel uses it in a different way because I don't want to create another different flavored version of Morel, which is sort of the way this is going. I want to make sure this is a little different, but like I like the idea of the shield like projecting the weapon, or like the spirit of the lion is carried in the shield, and then when his powers are activated, the lion emerges from the shield and he bites that guy's face off.
What if we give this character the archetype of fighter? Because that would give them access to a lot of really cool offensive shield abilities.
Maybe. Well, let's figure this out. So we want them to fight with a shield, predominantly. Now, I know, generally speaking, there's rules about dual-wielding shields. Like, you can do it, but you can only confirm one shield bonus at a time. You can't do both, yada, yada. So what if we made it wherein they have actual shields with either a blade set in the boss stud or, like, a blade built into the infrastructure? What if we made it so that their shields were these giant gauntlets, these giant lion-headed gauntlets?
So
And
kind
they
of
can
like
just...
yeah, so kind of like
Yes.
what you call it fudge
Like Wonder Woman.
the Captain America's Wakanda shield, right?
Yeah, like both Wonder Woman and the Wakanda shield.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool because now you have this person that has a very unique weapon, and maybe when they do this gesture, which is hard to do with me, it makes one big lion head, and then it only counts as one shield. So mechanically
We're
speaking,
gonna have a talk after this, PJ, because let's just say I had a similar idea for something else with this.
What?
I see Sidney getting very excited.
What if they
Yes.
function on their own as their own like sort of like deflectors and shields, and then when they come together, they sort of like parade, and that's when they make the lion's mane,
I got a secondary idea for the ability for that shield if you guys are down for it.
Okay.
Like, what if this builds on the idea of an offensive shield user. What if there's actually two lions on each shield, and he can actually summon two lions? Like, that's his pride. So he has two animal summons.
I like it. That is something that Gaius will already be doing, but what we could easily do is flavor things like their harm or whatever spells they're doing with lion motifs. So, like, when they do Divine Lance, like, a lion just comes flying out of their hand.
Oh man, dude, they just Kamehameha Divine Lance out of their shield.
See,
It's
this is
just,
badass.
please, like they're just like whatever Divine Lance energy. It's a lion. It bites his face, but it looks like this.
Grebo Lightbrush posted the shield could summon a Fey Lion, and Reap Psyche posted God of War had gauntlets of Hercules, which were just big lion heads.
Yeah, and I remember he could, like, punch with them, and, you know, the mouth would be open over the fist, so you could do damage that way. I also love the thing you said, Sidney, where when you put the things together, the big lion head mane kind of comes out, and that could be something of like a use of the shield cantrip.
Oh,
Which can only be done when you, like, raise a shield
PJ,
or shield block.
here's an idea. What if we make it a little bit more offensive? Once again, I'm building out the offensive shield nature. The witch has a ability where she uses her hair as kind of a grapple type of thing. What if when the mane comes out, the mane's hair becomes like the witch's hair?
Maybe. I think at that point it's too many mechanics at once.
Okay.
Now you're using a shield block with the shield cast and can use a ranged melee attack, at the same time. And then it's like, oh, that's awesome because it's not balanced. Like shield block, raise your shield. I'm just gonna sit here and attack you with hair and never, just all day, every day.
Well,
That's true. He could just sit there and just that's all he has to do.
What if it's just that's only available for 1 round and it's a once per day ability?
I mean, you could. I think at the same time, I think it would just make more sense that the character, because this is going to be an NPC, just had access to a spell that could function like that.
Okay.
So it's more form over function. I think I'm using that right.
Yes, I'm liking all of the lion flavor. That sounds bad. I don't mean literally. I don't think people can eat lions because that's bad. But I'm liking the lots of shield action. I'm liking this war priest of love. We're focusing a lot on the lion part, which is not bad, but I think we should also focus on the love part as well, since that is intrinsic to his god.
I agree.
Yeah, I was also going to say, if we do the summon thing, it would actually make a lot of sense for the Fey lions that pop out be female lions, maybe for the fact that in real world, it's the female lions in the Pride that honestly gets the shit done. They're the ones who do all the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, again, I think that can just be like flavor for like Divine Lance. But let's focus less on lions, let's bury lions, and let's focus more on personality. Because right now all we have is, I have 2 hands. Cool. Good for you, bro. Good for you.
Here's the thing. Let's make him boisterous, but no, that's Morel.
Ooh, can we make him a dwarf?
A dwarf? Ooh.
Interesting. We don't get a lot of dwarf. Like, I think we've mentioned Hammer and Forge, the god, once. I don't think we've ever seen like dwarves actually worship, let alone non-dwarven gods.
Well, is it possible in the Edge of Legend world for a how do I put this? A person not of a certain race to worship another race's deity?
Oh yeah, totally. The elves do it all the time. I mean, Shionibus is an elf, and instead of worshiping the Faelvanane, which we've only seen 2 elf clerics of the Faelvanane, she worships Anubis. So it's totally plausible.
It is, yeah. It's totally possible. We have not seen that yet. That's
Yeah.
But can we make him a dwarf though?
Yeah. Now here's the thing. Well, all fantasy ancestries tend to, in my world, reflect their surroundings. So like, you're not going to be some Scottish dwarf chilling in Azmacon, and everyone's going to be like authentically Spanish and Hispanic and Lucha and Aztec, and then there's a Scotsman going like, I've been raised here my entire life. Look at me go. Like, no, that is going to be a part of their people, like Ichi is. So I think. I just look at the playback and Sidney's face was hilarious. So if he's going to be a dwarf, the question is kind of where do we want him from? Where do we want him to be?
Do you have a Eastern European country in your world flavored?
I mean, Adelphon.
Yeah. Well, what if he's from Bryax, PJ?
Ooh, one of the Bryax refugees that are going back and taking their home?
Yeah.
Yeah, ooh, yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that a lot. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, especially that could be really cool narratively. If we're saying that there's someone that's leading with love in their hearts constantly, and they were manipulated into leaving their home, they're going to fight even more fiercely to keep it.
Ooh, I just thought of a interesting backstory idea. What if one of the reasons why they had to leave was maybe we didn't see them in the jail area, the mines, was they were pushed out for trying to help this group, their people, but they were pushed out and they went on a quest or something of self-discovery or something, and then came back and just went, oh, so this happened. Maybe that's the reason why we didn't see them.
Maybe. I think we can also kind of
Oh,
yeah?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize you were talking like narratively.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think we can handle the narrative backstory a little bit later. But so if he's a dwarf from Bryax and he is a follower of Adoraia, his personality is what?
I think his personality.
Didn't
I
you say-
like.
well, sorry.
I like the idea, and this may be a lot of Adoraia's personality, but I like the idea of him being, whereas Morel is kind of, for a massive tall person, just kind of stoic and sometimes haunched, and very careful. I kind of like the idea that this dwarf is antithetical to that, loud, brash. Like he enters a room by kicking the door down, even if it's unlocked, that door is getting punted. And, it's just loud, roaring voice when he talks, and when he laughs, he's loud, just bigger than life kind of dude.
You know what I'm imagining? The Ghost of Christmas Present from, I'm imagining the Ghost of Christmas Present from the Muppets Christmas Carol.
I can definitely see that. Yeah.
That's actually what I'm imagining. I mean, except he's real big.
But all of that put into a dwarf size. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh God. I forgot. I'm blanking on the actor's name. I loved him in. Oh God. The actor who played the bird guy, the main bird guy from Flash Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
Gordon's alive.
Yeah, he is a great actor for that. If you want to pull a deep cut for that, yeah, he's great for that.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be a great kind of oh God, what I am blanking on a lot of words today. Like character you can kind of refer to, like, oh, this is it's kind of like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That guy.
Gordon's alive guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna use. He's part of the bird people. I can't remember their name, but
I'm looking it up.
yeah. So we've got a bird. Hello, I am Bird Person.
Wrong show.
Yeah, very wrong show. So we're almost hitting our cutoff time. Malice says Porthos from the Three Musketeers. I can definitely see a Porthos here. Yeah, very big, very full of life. He parties hard, but he's not decadent. Because I feel like once you get to decadence, that's a different god entirely.
Brian Blessed.
Brian Blessed.
That's the name of the actor.
That's a very interesting name.
That is.
That sounds more like a drag king name than an actor name.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
Reap Psyche said, Malice 1974 said Porthos from the Three Musketeers, when Reap Psyche said the Disney 1994 live action with Oliver Platt.
That's the superior Three Musketeers.
Yes,
I will always say that. I will always say that.
If for nothing else, then that theme song that slaps with Bryan Adams and Michael Bolton, just because it's all for one, all for love. Like, yes.
I still really love that scene where that pirate was like swinging around a sword, and then Oliver Patrick goes, yeah, and just like stomps down that plank and just right in the jumblies.
All right, so we have this dwarves' weapons. I think now has come time, because we're about to end the show. We have this amazing NPC character, and we have to keep them neutral enough that we can place them anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. But they need a name.
Brian.
Brian? Brian. Okay.
He's because of Brian.
Maybe we could give him like a. What if we go Bryven?
Well, Reap Psyche was like Brian from Bryax?
Yes, exactly.
Brian from Bryax.
Yes, just name him Brian.
All right. I'm here for it. I'm gonna call him. Okay. Just work with
Brian from Bryax. That's it.
Yes, he's just Brian. Everyone loves Brian.
Everyone loves Brian. So his name is Brian. So his name is Brian from Bryax, but his full name is Brian Pridalon, or Pridalon. Oh. One of those two.
Reap Sega said Brierson from Brian.
Brian Brierson.
No, Brian Bryanson.
Brian Bryanson.
Bakes a mean brioche. Yes, he does.
Brian Bryanson from Bryax, who buys his bread at Oh, I don't know how to end it.
Big black bugs bleed blue black blood, but Brian from Bryax beats butts blue. There you go. And Malice was saying, I was fighting something ugly. I'm sorry. What? Oh, right. Reference to Platt. Okay, cool. So, read over this little thing we have here. I'm going to make him... Yeah, let's go with that for now. So, the Cleric of Adoraia, Brian Pridolin of Bryax. He is a large man for a dwarf with ruddy hair, dual-wielding two massive lion-headed gauntlets that when put together, they form a shield of energy main that acts like the shield cantrip, but only can be used when raising a shield activity. They are a dwarf from Bryax who is now trying to help their people heal and fight passionately to get their city back. They are loud, brash, happy, merry, full of life. They are Porthos and the ghost of Christmas present, and they are Brian Pridolin from Bryax. So,
Yeah!
Look forward to this character probably appearing, if everything goes according to chaos, tomorrow night on Edge of Legend at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Can we have a scene where he says nothing but B words? Like, everything just B words.
Never. He will never do that. And don't ever ask that, because no, I don't want to do that.
You did it. That was so fun.
That was awesome. Thank you guys for coming in. Let's say our goodbyes. And also, let's start by saying a big thank you to Sidney for special guesting today.
Hi, it's me. I did it. I hope y'all had fun, because I sure done did.
Awesome. Well, let's do our goodbyes. Starting with, why don't we start off with Sidney? Sidney, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, my name is Sidney Rubino, and you can find me on the internet at Sidney Rubino. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter, and I'm on TikTok. But this time, I'm under Sidney of Hightower because, sure, make things confusing, Sidney. That was a good choice. But I have a YouTube show. Every Tuesday, I read folklore and myths, as I said earlier. So if you like listening to folklore you wouldn't otherwise hear or read, come join me. I love reading them and talking about the moral implications of certain stories.
Very, very nice. And as I'm getting the raid ready, Mr. Michael Powell, please tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Take your time because it's going to take a little while. I am Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKAPAO, or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, such as my YouTube channel, which is Fantastic Tales of Adventure. And this week is, it's a big week. Right after this, I will be on live action roleplay for the Olive Garden LARP. So that's going to be really fun. Then we have next tomorrow with Edge of Legend, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here. And let's see what else. And then on Thursday at 6 p.m., I will be on Toys Alive talking about toy news and nostalgia stuff. And then right after that, I will be on live action roleplay once again for Purgatory Cafe. And then on Saturday, right here again, I'll be here for Ra's Rave Party at 1 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Whew!
Very, very nice. Take a breath. I'll take it from here. So you've earned that respite. So my name is PJ McGaw. I'm all over the internet at pj.mcgaw. When I'm not here Tuesdays, you can find me here Wednesdays tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Pathfinder 2nd Edition homebrew show, Edge of Legend, with the completely impromptu and totally unforeseen battle of Agrippa upon a bear that broke out last episode. Now the heroes are going to be left for the moral repercussions of some of their actions, more lore and story about what the Green Army is planning on doing, and maybe a little party, a little love. More than that, this Saturday on this channel, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., we're doing Ra's Rave Party. What happens when a bunch of gods get twisted at the Malibu Hollywood Hills, and what happens when someone crashes that party. Please come and watch and give what you can. No pressure, no goals, no limitations, to help David in the current tragedy that he is going through with everything in life. Also, I'll probably give you more details as this goes, but next Thursday, the 25th, tune into live action roleplay as I join the Alice is Missing text-based silent roleplay game where the whole thing will be made up on the spot, and we're going to be texting to figure out where's Alice and what thing has befallen her. We'll see what happens. We'll all be done there. Come check us out at, I think, 7, 8 o'clock. I'll put details up. And, of course, Night Witches New Jack City, March 6th, happening at 1 to 7 p.m. The whole thing is for the Planned Parenthood charity, and please come and support International Women's Day as 6 triumphant aerial heroes fight to keep the skies in New Jack City safe. And without further ado, like Mal said in the chat, and I feel like we just really need to hit this one last time, the 3 C's of romantic roleplay: consent, communicate, consent. And without further ado, I bid you adieu, and I'll see you here, same Nat time, same Nat channel, at the table. Be safe, everyone.